my name is Michaela, and for my topic, I chose to cover sustainable fashion, what it is, how to shop sustainably, and why it is necessary. So first, we need to define what fast fashion is. Fast fashion is a process that involves rapid design, manufacturing, and distribution of often low-quality clothing and accessories to consumers. Up until the 1960s, fashion was only for really wealthy people, and there were four main seasons in a year. Around the 60s, there were advances in technology that allowed fabrics to be produced very quickly at a low cost, and shopping became a hobby rather than a necessity. Around the 2000s, online retail began to take off, and retailers like Zara and H&M took center stage. And fast fashion companies copy elements from high fashion, so like stuff you'd see on a runway. They can replicate it in a cheap and fast way and make it accessible to everyday consumers. We also need to define what a trend cycle is. A trend cycle is kind of the length of time something is popular. So it begins, not many people are wearing something. It's kind of up and coming. You'll see it on TikTok. Influencers are wearing it. To where it gets to its peak, you'll see it everywhere on mall shelves, to finally where you'll see it at retailers like Walmart, Target, and other discount retailers like that, till it's no longer in style. Trends used to last around 10 years. Now trends are only lasting about 2 to 3 years, and these can be shorter than a month. Some even happen within a 2-week time frame. These are called micro trends, and social media, especially TikTok, has drastically shortened the cycle of a trend. Online retailer Shein puts between 700 and 1,000 new pieces on their site a day. So these trends are obviously moving very, very quickly. And up on here, I have some trends that have happened in the past year. You might recognize some of this stuff. These are all little micro trends. The House of Sunny, Danish pastel aesthetic, and this on the right is the coconut girl aesthetic. All of these are trends that have happened in the last year. Very, very fast, happened within about 3 months. They came in and went out of style. And you might be wondering, what is the problem with all of this? I love shopping so much, so you might be wondering what's wrong with cheap, fast clothing that looks super stylish and stuff you'd see on a runway. Unfortunately, fast fashion is destroying the environment. The fashion industry is responsible for 10% of greenhouse gas emissions. At its current expansion rate, this is expected to increase by 50%. The fashion industry is responsible for 20% of global wastewater through fabric production and dyeing processes. 500,000 tons of microplastics enter our oceans every year. 85% of our clothing ends up in landfills. The average American throws away 81 pounds of clothing a year. And 60% of our clothing can't be recycled. And this number doesn't even cover the amount of clothing that could be recycled but isn't. Fast fashion is destroying our waterways. This is a man in Bangladesh dredging through a polluted waterway. It has red fabric dye has leaked into this water. These garment dyes are really toxic, and little oversight lets these dyes get into waterways, which can harm the people who live near these facilities. It can also really destroy the environment, the water that these dyes get into, and just kill lots of fish and deplete food supplies for these communities as well. Another really harmful thing is microplastics entering waterways. Microplastics are plastics less than 5 millimeters in length. These plastics can be ingested by animals and make their way up the trophic levels, resulting in bioamplification until you have an apex predator with tons and tons of plastic in its tummy. And these plastics often leach out of synthetic fibers like polyester. Most of our clothes have some type of plastic in them. It's kind of rare to see 100% cotton things or 100% wool things. Most are a blend of something nowadays. Fast fashion is destroying our land. This is a landfill that has a ton of textile waste in it. We throw away our clothes at a really alarming rate. One garbage truck full of clothes every second is burned or placed in a landfill. 84% of donated clothing can end up in landfills. And donated clothing can end up in less developed countries, which might seem good on the surface that we're helping people, but this puts local clothing manufacturers out of business and harms their developing economies. Fast fashion is destroying our air too. This is a picture of a textile factory that is just pumping all kinds of yucky things into the air. Clothing manufacturers output large amounts of greenhouse gases. Clothing production can release formaldehyde into the air, along with lots of other carcinogenic chemicals. Additionally, greenhouse gases are contributing to climate change. These gases are getting trapped in the atmosphere and warming our atmosphere at a very alarming rate, which is increasing these chaotic, very dramatic weather events we've been having. And that all might sound super, super bad. You might be wondering, what can we do to stop this? The first way we can help fight fast fashion is reducing the intake of clothing you're bringing into your house. When you want something new, it's a great way to try to find something secondhand. So look in thrift shops or vintage stores for pieces to give them a new life. When you are shopping for a new item, think quality over quantity. So instead of 4 or 5 sweaters from Zara that are made from plastic and you're going to throw away in a year, maybe get one really nice 100% wool sweater from a small business. It might cost a little more upfront, but those 4 sweaters will probably wear out. Well, this one nice sweater will last you a really long time. There's also clothing swaps you can go to. These are where people bring clothing and you can just trade for different pieces. You can refresh your closet by doing that. And we have 2 on the Oxford campus through the Miami University Fashion and Design Club that anyone is welcome to attend. We do that twice a year. Another way you can help fight fast fashion is by curating a closet. The best way to avoid falling into these trend cycles that come and go so fast is by knowing your own personal style. Your own personal style is timeless. If you're happy in your clothing, then you are in style. You can also create a capsule wardrobe. So that's a great way to ensure you always have something to wear. A capsule wardrobe, I have it pictured. It's a bunch of clothing pieces that can all be mixed and matched and all look really good together. So you might have 10 pieces, but it might give you 100 different outfits you can make from those. And before you buy something, think about where it came from and if you can see yourself wearing it in a year or if it's going to be in a landfill or Goodwill. And when you are buying something new, you can shop sustainably. Lots of sustainable businesses focus on creating pieces that will be worn forever. They're trans-seasonal and they work to make their supply chain as transparent as possible. Look for companies that are B Corp certified, which signals they're meeting really high standards for sustainability and social responsibility. When you are shopping, avoid greenwashing. Greenwashing is a tactic. It's a marketing tactic that a lot of big retailers will use to make you think you're buying something sustainable. They'll use words like recycled, green, eco-friendly. These words don't mean anything. There's no like regulation or rules for them. They are just kind of nonsense. And it tricks consumers who want to be sustainable and conscious into buying something that's just as bad for the environment as the thing right next to it. And when you are buying something new, you can thrift flip things. I have a tutorial doing this. So I got this shirt for $2 at Goodwill. It didn't fit that great. It was a size large. So I took it and I cut off the bottom and I added little ruching on the sides and it turned into this like super cute crop top that fits me a lot better now. It's really unique. No one else has anything like it. So I have a TikTok here that I'm not going to play because it takes up a long time. And finally, none of these changes will fix the problem entirely. The only way we really can make lasting sustainable change is by getting the government involved and having them make regulations that we need to curb the fast fashion practices. We need to vote for candidates that have strong regulations for the fashion industry, both in terms of labor and environmental regulations. And governments need to impose penalties for companies that don't produce sustainable clothing. Thank you. And I have some links to different thrift flip tutorials. And am I excited?